And welcome back to the channel. On this video, I thought I'd talk about the most ideal weather conditions for riding your e-bike. And the reason why I want to talk about this today is because I'm sure you've noticed in the past several days, I've been doing green screen videos as I'm doing right now. And the reason why I've been doing the green screen videos is because we had a major, as many of you had, a major winter storm go through here. And this is my first winter in Tennessee, so I'm kind of learning as you go on how things work here and or don't work. And let me tell you that when they get a major snow and ice storm, as we did, it pretty much shuts things down, and not just for a day or two. But then on top of the cold, the snow and the ice, we had extremely cold temperatures. As I say, as many of you have had. Like millions of people had this same storm go through. But when it hits here, I can tell you that any of the major roads may get plowed, but the secondary roads, forget it. And residential areas, it just isn't happening. And with the temperatures being so cold as they've been, there's been no melting, virtually no melting. And the little bit of melting that we may get just from the sun of the day, it just freezes back up at night. So fingers crossed, this week I should be back up and riding the bike again this upcoming week here. Back outdoors and doing regular e-bike videos and not the green screen. But the whole purpose of having this screen was to still be able to provide videos and still keep in touch with you guys and keep up with what's going on in the e-bike world, which there's been several things. So it's been good that way, being able to still provide videos. But yeah, I wanted to talk today, because of that, about the most ideal weather conditions for bike riding. We all have a little bit of differences as to what we can tolerate. And I can tell you for myself, as I get older, I'm finding that I'm getting more restricted in what I want to do. Especially, you know, if you're retired, then you can do you know, pick your spots kind of thing. There's no reason that you have to go out there. Like, I didn't have to go out in the storm, and nor did I. But this storm shut everything down. It wasn't just me that's been shut down, but there's been no schools all week. They've been shut off, like shut down, closed. Any doctor's office, dentist's office, grocery stores are very limited in what they have on the shelves. They've been pretty much wiped out. So it's been quite the ordeal here. And as I say, though, this upcoming week, fingers crossed, we're supposed to get on the good side and get above that freezing point, and some nice weather coming, and a little bit of rain too, which will help to wash this away. So hopefully in the coming days I'll get out there. But that's what made me prompted me to do this video today. I thought, you know what, thinking about it, and we're not that far from spring. I mean, you're seeing this video, I'm recording it on the last day of January, Saturday. You're going to see it the next morning, Sunday morning, and it'll be February 1st. And so we're not that far away from spring. You can start thinking about it, because baseball is around the corner. Training camps open within 2 weeks. You've got the Winter Olympics are coming up next week, if you're an Olympic fan, which I am. I'm looking forward to that. But there's some good things happening here coming up. And the Super Bowl, of course, is next weekend as well. But yeah, we've got spring coming. So what's the ideal conditions? Like I say, we're all a little different into what we can tolerate. And I'm finding as I get older, I'm being a little more picky or choosy as into what I like. And I would say for me, the most ideal temperature, like if I had to pick a favorite 10-degree spot, it would probably be something like 68 to 78 or 70 to 80. I've been bumping this up more and more all the time, because after going through what we just went through weather-wise here, and still going through it, I'm thinking I want it a little bit warmer, a little bit warmer, a little bit warmer. So yeah, I probably say in the 70s. Anything in the 70s would be perfect for me for riding. And so I'm looking here to see what is the ideal temperature for the e-bike and for the rider. Well, like I say, it's up to you as the rider as to what you can tolerate and what you like. But the ideal e-bike riding conditions involve, I'll get the reading right, moderate temperatures around 50 to 80 degrees. This is great for the bike. Dry weather and smooth terrain like paved roads or well-maintained gravel trails, which offer optimal performance, safety, and battery life for both. These are both good for the rider and the bike. Ideal weather and temperatures. The optimal performance and longevity of e-bike components, especially the lithium-ion battery, are highly dependent on moderate weather. Temperatures. The ideal temperature range for e-bike battery performance is typically between 50 degrees and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, or 10 to 27 Celsius. Hot weather. Above 85 degrees or 29 degrees Celsius can decrease battery capacity, cause the motor to overheat, and risks heat exhaustion for the rider. Cold weather. Cold weather below 40 degrees or 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 Celsius significantly reduces battery range by 30 to 50%, slows down chemical reactions, and requires specific storage and charging precautions. Never charge a frozen battery. If you're going outside in the cold weather, do not come in and immediately plug your bike into charge. Give it an hour or two to adjust to room temperature before you charge it up. And I can tell you, under these conditions, I've ridden both hot and cold weather before, and I can tell you that the cold weather drains the battery a lot. I've ridden in, I don't know what the temperature was, but cold. I've been out there in cold weather, and you can really notice the difference in the battery. And I think your bike is a little more sluggish as well. It doesn't react as quickly. Everything is just kind of cold to warm up, and it never really does get warm. The motor might get a little warm after riding a while, but so if you are going to ride in cold weather, I would recommend don't ride too far or too long. Just a quick ride maybe. But if you're going miles and miles, that might be a little more tricky. And if you are going to do something like that, just know that your battery is going to drain a lot. Like I would expect it to only get half the distance that you normally get. And as far as hot weather, I have ridden in hot weather before. Just a few years back, Portland, actually back in, I'm just looking it up here, June 28th of 2021, we had the historic hottest day, 116 degrees in Portland, and that's Fahrenheit, 47 degrees Celsius, and I was out on the bike briefly in that heat. And so I wasn't out there that long. I think I did about a 15-minute ride or something like that. It wasn't very long. I just wanted to see what it was like to ride in crazy hot weather. And so I didn't really notice much on the battery there, simply because I was quick in and out. So I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. I noticed more of the battery draining in the cold than I paid attention in the hot. I just know it's too hot to ride. It's not good for the bike. It's not good for the rider. And so everything happens. Your tires get extremely hot from the heat of the road, and it's just not good overall. So you don't want to ride in extreme weather either direction, whether it be hot or cold. Try to stay in, as they mentioned, the 50 to 80 degree, and I think a lot of riders out there prefer that anyway. So yeah, but it's up to you, right? Some people are just going to ride year round anyway. It's basically the bike is their car, and they're just going to use it. And try to, keep the ride short if at all possible. Precipitation. Dry conditions are ideal, of course. Most e-bikes are water resistant, not waterproof, meaning they can handle light rain or splashes, but heavy downpours, deep water, and submerging components should be avoided to prevent electrical damage. Well, here too, I've ridden bike in rain. I've ridden in pretty hard rain. And never have I had an issue with anything. I've never had the bike shut off. I've never had anything become water damaged in any way. That's just from myself. I don't know how others have done with these conditions. But under any of these conditions, if you've had issues, good or bad or no issues, let us know in the comments and share it with everyone, whether you've had good luck riding in winter, bad luck riding in winter, or in the hot weather or wet weather or what have you. Another thing is wind. So strong headwinds increase wind resistance, which makes pedaling more challenging and drains the battery faster because the resistance, of course, it's going to take more energy from the bike to be able to get you to the same speed you normally ride, taking more power to do so. Strong crosswinds can also make the bike unstable, requiring extra caution. And here I would say, yes, I've had situations too, and you may have as well, where I've been riding in the bike lane and big tractor trailers will go zooming by, and you're in that little, 2.5 foot bike lane width, and those trucks will darn near blow you right off the road. I've had times when the bike felt like it was just going to knock me right from the wind backdraft from that truck was going to knock me right off the bike. I've had it make me do a little wobble. So that is something to be careful of too, and be cautious out there when those big trucks are coming. Probably slow your ride down a little bit and just prepare for that backdraft coming when that truck gets by you. Here's some more. Ideal terrain. The best terrain depends on the type of e-bike. So example, whether you have a road bike, a mountain bike, a fat tire bike, but generally smoother, predictable surfaces are considered ideal for efficiency and safety. And that's kind of like, kind of obvious, I would say. My preference is fat tire bike. I'm always a fan. My favorite bike is the fat tire e-bike. I think I just like the stability of the big fat tires. I know it gives up a little bit in other areas, but I just like that, that nice stable ride. Paved roads versus bike paths offer the most efficient and predictable riding surface, ideal for commuting and leisurely rides with minimal rolling resistance and fewer potential hazards like potholes or debris. Potholes or debris can come up whether you're on pavement or not, and I've had that happen. I'm sure you have too. I've hit potholes, or I've hit where the surface has got like a bump in it and it's cracked and stuff, and then you don't see that till the last second and you're going, ugh, and you really feel it. But even with a bike that has full suspension, you're still going to feel that, and it's unexpected. So you got to be careful. That's why one of the reasons too why you don't want to ride fast on a trail or path or shared path. You don't know what's coming up ahead, especially on curves. So be careful out there. Don't ride too fast. Gravel trails provide a good blend of adventure and stability, often less crowded than city streets. They are, but I would say with gravel trails, my experiences on those, you just don't want to ride as fast. Slow it down a little bit for sure on the gravel trails. Safety and other factors. Ideal conditions also incorporate safety and maintenance considerations related to ride environment. Visibility. Bright, clear conditions offer the best visibility. My favorite time to ride is on a bright, beautiful, sunny day. Not everybody likes that, but I do. When riding in low light, fog, or rain, using bright lights, headlight, and tail light, and wearing reflective or bright colors, colored clothing is crucial for safety. I should mention too, though, that I like riding in brightness, but I also like a little bit of shade on the trails. I really like the trails that have a little bit nice shade, but I like riding in daytime, basically. I'm not a fan of riding at night. I have done it several times, but it's not my favorite. You can't see things like potholes or stuff like that. Storm drains, not as well anyway, even with good headlights. And I have good headlights on bikes too. Route planning. Ideal conditions involve routes with plenty of shade in hot weather, or well-maintained. Let's take 2 on that one. Plowed paths in winter. Avoid slippery surfaces like wet paint. Well, I guess wet paint. Who's going to ride on wet paint? Unless they mean the painted lines, I guess, on the road. Metal covers, loose gravel, or ice. Pre-ride inspection. Regularly checking tire pressure, brakes, and battery level before each ride ensures optimal performance and safety. We all can say that, but I bet you very few of us do that on every ride. Do you check your tires and your brakes and everything before every single ride? Probably not. Some may do it, but most of us probably don't do it on every ride. And it might be a good thing to do, especially if you're doing a long distance ride. If you're just doing a short ride, probably not so bad if you checked it not too long earlier, too much previous. So anyway, those are some of the things that make for ideal riding. And like I say, it's up to you, the rider. as to what you can handle and what you can tolerate. Some people have a strict, they're only going to go out on dry weather, 70-degree weather, and that's it. I'm not like that. I will ride in rain. I will ride in pretty much any conditions except for ice. That's why I'm not out there now. We have icy conditions still here, and cold, very cold. I'll ride in some cold, but I don't want to get into the extreme cold with the really strong wind chills. That's not good for you or the bike. It makes for miserable for everybody, and it's just not worth it. Unless you have good reason to be out there and to ride in those conditions, I wouldn't even chance it. I wouldn't take the chance for you or the bike. But let us know in the comments what you can tolerate, what you think your bike can tolerate, what have you tolerated before, both in high temperatures, low temperatures, what kind of riding conditions were you riding in that may have been a little bit rough, but you did it anyway. So let us know in the comments. So that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, thank you very much. Just hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified as to when the next video comes up on the channel, just hit that notification bell. And if you want to leave a comment on this video or any others that you've seen on the channel, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Once again, thank you for joining me on this video. And until next time, be safe, everyone, and keep your wheels on the road. See you later.